Coming at you from the AO Studios, it's the Fade Route with D and Z. Here are your hosts, D and Z.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Coming at you live from the AO Studio.
Ayo.
It's the Fade Route with D and Z. I am D, and we've got a great show for you tonight. The Jets make a cultural decision. Is there a sleeping giant in the NBA in the West? And torpedo bats are sweeping through baseball. We'll begin today's show with the men's Final Four being set. Duke will be taking on the best defense in the nation in Houston, and Florida will be taking on Auburn. All number ones in the Final Four in the men's bracket for only the second time in history. I believe it's the first time since 2008.
Shock!
Yeah, and Jay Billis had it. So, see, which game are you looking most forward to?
Are we crediting Jay Billis for that? To have no conviction in anybody other than the number one seeds? Are we really? Yeah, back in the day, back in our day, like, you used to be called gutless for picking all chalk. You used to be a gutless fuck.
Codfish.
You're just now you're just smart. Now you're just a brilliant analyst. Bullshit. We kid, Jay. We kid. What am I looking forward to here? Well, if you look statistically, if you look at peripherally, the Auburn-Florida game is one of the most evenly matched games on paper that you can have. Like, if you're looking for a good basketball game, right? That's your pick, right? You have about a point difference in favor of Florida. You have half a point on defense. Field goal percentage is practically identical. Free throw percentage, practically identical. Rebounds, okay, Florida has the edge. Almost 5 more rebounds than Auburn. So this is going to be a nice little knocky-draggy, for sure. But the sexy story, right? That's with Houston and Duke. That's Cooper Flag, trying to cement his legacy this year before going to the NBA and being a consensus overall number one pick. John Shire, his first attempt at a national championship. This is the farthest he's gone since Coach K left, right? This is the farthest Duke has gone. So can they continue that legacy under John Shire that Coach K left behind? It hasn't been that great in recent years, but now there's a shot. They have the opportunity to get there. Here's the kicker, though. And this is where it becomes an issue. Houston plays defense. They do.
So you're looking forward to seeing Florida, Houston. Well, that's what you're looking for in the final game. Okay. For me, I am looking for this next upcoming game. I'm not really interested in the Auburn game. I want to see Duke against Houston as well. And I am looking to see how Houston decides to stop Cooper Flag and how they're going to defend the Blue Devils. It's a tall order, but I think Sampson is up for the challenge. I think there are ways that Shire could be outcoached. I think there are ways to frustrate the Blue Devils. And that's what Houston is going to need to rely on to win the game. On the other side, I mean, it's going to be a good game, Auburn and Florida. And Florida has shown tremendous will the last two games. The Texas Tech game was over. Florida was going home. And somehow they come back and they score these points and they win that game. And you would think that their coach wasn't built for the moment. He wasn't up to the moment. He was a little green. He's got amazing, talented players. And they win. And they come back. They make shots. They're gritty. They're tough. So in that game, the Florida-Auburn game, it's really just about who can hang in there the most, who could keep coming back. And it's going to take all two halves, all 40 minutes. But after what I've seen, I believe Florida will beat Auburn and hopefully face Houston in the national championship game. And like I was saying, I think the Houston-Duke game is the game I prefer to see. And I want to see them come up with a way to slow Cooper Flag down and outsmart that Blue Devil team. What do you think, Z?
Well, I think that the game plan is going to be to make the other members of the Duke Blue Devils beat you, right? Because Cooper Flag is so prolific. And I think Houston is absolutely capable of doing so. Like, they're one of the top defensive teams in the nation.
I think they're number one.
I'm pretty sure they're number one.
Pretty sure.
So, tip top.
And the thing is like, I think Shire could be outcoached. He's only been there a minute. I mean, Sampson's been there, been coaching longer than we've been alive. So, I mean, and I believe, and Houston's been knocking on this door the last couple of years. They're definitely athletically enough. If there was ever a year to do it, it would be this year. And, you know, that's the game I'm looking forward to too. And the Auburn-Florida game, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think it's going to go all the way to the end. But I'm a Duke hater, and I want to see Duke go down.
Do you love brownies? Of course you love brownies. And if you're looking for delicious gourmet handcrafted brownies, then look no farther than Sweet Life Brownie Co. Chef Tommy D and the crew offer a dozen delicious delights that you will crave. From the classic OB, to Dutch Apple, to my personal favorite cookie jar, Red Velvet, and many more. Check out their Instagram at sweetlifebrownie_co for their Friday brownie drops. Every Friday at noon, you see what they're making. Or give them a call at 845-641-3043 and tell them a D&Z sent you. That's sweetlifebrownie_co on Instagram, Sweet Life Brownie Co. on Facebook, 845-641-3043. Sweet Life Brownie Co. Because there's always room for a brownie.
But it's never too early to check on football lines for next season.
No, sir.
Vegas currently has the 49ers at 10.5 wins, and they have the best odds of winning the division? What? So, do you see things the same way? Am I missing something here? I know they have 11 draft picks, but last I saw, Christian McCaffrey got hurt. They lost one of their best receivers. Their tight end's a year older. I don't know. What are we missing here? Because Vegas usually doesn't get this wrong. I mean, what am I missing?
So, let's go over this. Elijah Mitchell, I believe, is now on the Chiefs, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure he's on the Chiefs. Debo is in Washington. Now, they said they wouldn't trade Brandon Ayuk before the deadline. They didn't say they weren't trading Brandon Ayuk. They just said they weren't gonna trade him before the deadline. Ofanga's gone. Dre Greenlaw's gone.
Is Salah back?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the defensive coordinator.
Yeah. So there's that. But at the same time, like, you lost all these guys, right? You lost the guys that were key components to the team that got you to that you got to the Super Bowl with, right? Is this really all because they have to pay Brock Purdy? Yeah, it is. The rookie deal's coming up, dude. So should have got off the pot. Now, they drafted Ricky Pearsall last year, and when he came back after getting shot, he actually looked like a pretty, which is an insane fucking statement, but hey, he came back after getting shot, like Brian Robinson.
True story.
And he did well. He did pretty well. Does that translate over a full season? I don't know, because we gotta see it, right? He's a rookie. We gotta see it. George Kittle, another year older, like you said. Christian McCaffrey. Dude, the same injury bug that bit you in Carolina is biting you in San Francisco now. So, that's an issue. Now,
I mean, come on, Z. Wouldn't you bet the under?
I would bet the
10.5?
That's a lot.
What the fuck are you talking? What
the
are you
Rams
talking about?
The Rams are clearly better.
The Rams, to me, are the team that they have the second best odds. Okay. Then the third is Seattle with their new revamped team. I mean, you don't think Seattle's going to win more games than the 49ers? I'm not saying they got to win over 10 games. I'm saying you don't think the Seattle team that they have now is going to win more games than the 49ers?
I do, but I would have put Arizona ahead of them. That's just me.
I had Seattle. That's fine, but you still have
Oh yeah, they're still DFL.
I got the 49ers. Yeah.
DFL.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah, they have to know something we don't, right? Because, objectively, there's a lot of rearranging of the deck chairs in Seattle, but they brought in the guy that they think is going to be their guy in Sam Darnold, right? Smith and Jigba. You're trending
Kupp
in a direction. We brought in Cooper Kupp, that's right, which also hurts the Rams, but the Rams made up for it with Devontae Adams, right? So all of that still looks way more appealing than anything the Niners have done. Are you really banking on the fact that Christian McCaffrey is 100%?
Right?
Is that the reason?
You're telling me he's not going to start on the pup?
No fucking way.
He's got to start on the pup. No doubt. And they lost Mason.
They traded Mason too. That's right.
Mason's gone. Mason went to I want to say he went to Minnesota or
He's
the
Viking.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Vikings. 10 wins.
Your guess is as good as mine.
But Vegas is usually undefeated in these situations. They usually know what they're talking about. But I mean, I'm betting the under. I mean, how could you not, right? How could you not bet the under? They're banking on either John Lynch hitting on all of these draft picks. Right. He's got to hit on the draft picks. They've got 11 draft picks.
Or he's got to package them. He's got to package something.
Let's see who they're playing. That's
the only thing I can think of. There's a blockbuster trade.
So they're playing the NFC South.
Okay.
And the AFC South.
So, all right, so we're looking at...
They're also playing the Colts, the Giants, and the Browns. And the Bears.
So Colts, Giants, Browns, Bears.
Along with the AFC South and the NFC South.
That sounds like a really good record, actually. You know what I mean? If we're thinking about it.
Yeah.
They can beat the Titans, right? They can beat the Jaguars. Maybe they'll lose to the Colts.
And Daniel Jones?
Maybe. Possibly.
That game is in Indianapolis.
So there's a puncher's chance. The Colts have a puncher's chance.
All right. Well, they're okay. So and then they're going to lose to the Bucks.
They're going to lose to the Bucks, and I think they could beat everybody else in that division. Maybe the Falcons, maybe, but I think everybody else, the Niners can beat.
All right.
So even that, you're looking at what, 6-2 right there?
They gotta go to Cleveland, which they lost. They lost last year.
Who's Cleveland's quarterback though?
Yeah,
because Jimmy Haslam came out and said that was a real swing and a miss. Well, thanks,
no shit, Jim.
Thanks, Jimbo. Good fucking job there, buddy.
Yeah, it was a big swing and a miss there.
Give us the fucking lottery numbers next.
The Giants, they'll beat the Giants.
They'll beat the Giants.
That game's in San Francisco. That game's in New York or New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then I mean, you don't have them. You don't have them sweeping anybody in their division.
No.
I mean, at best case scenario, you're going to split, right? So you'll split with the Seahawks. You'll split. I guess so. There you go. I guess you're right. I guess they are going to win 11 games.
Damn,
It's 11 games. Oh, and they got to play Chicago. They'll probably lose that game, right?
That's a tougher game than we're letting on. So let's give that one to the Bears.
All right, so let's go through this again. So let's do division first. Okay. They're gonna split with the Seahawks.
Yep.
Right. They're gonna.
I think the Rams take 2. 2-0 against the Rams take 2.
Rams take 2. Okay, Cardinals
split with the Cardinals.
This was the Cardinals.
Split with the Cardinals. So that's 4-2 right there.
They got 4 losses. No, they got 4 losses there.
Oh, yeah. 2-4. 2-4. Sorry.
Right. Yeah.
2-4.
And then we have them beating the Falcons.
Yep.
Beating the Panthers.
Yes.
So now they're 4-4. Beating the Jags 5-4. Beating the Titans 6-4. Losing to the Bears 6-5. Okay. Beating the Saints 6-6.
Yep.
No. Beating the Saints would make them 7-5.
7-5.
So now then they lose to the Bucks 7-6. Lose to the Texans 7-7. Lose to the Colts 7-8.
7-8. Beat the Giants.
Okay. 8-8. And then beat the Browns 9-8.
9-8. So there you go.
There you go. Betting the under.
You heard it here first, folks.
I'm betting heavy on the under for sure.
And, we were pretty gracious. We said that, the Saints, that could go either way. Like that's, that one is like, okay, we'll kind of toss up that one. Depends on when they're playing the Giants. As we've seen, like the Giants could, the Giants playing for nothing could stupidly win a game. So we've seen this. We've seen the Giants like fucking screw themselves out of the number 1 overall pick with a win. But yeah, like they're in the range, right? But can you find 2 wins on that schedule to beat the 10.5? I can't. Out of the 8 losses, I don't know if I necessarily can be convinced that I can move 2 of those into the win column.
You could catch the Texans, maybe. You could catch the Bears, right?
All right, then it's more feasible.
Bears are playing in San Francisco.
Okay, so that's a little bit more.
And division games are always tricky.
Yeah,
they're always tricky. You can never, even though we got the Rams sweeping them, you can very well easily split with them.
And the other team, the Cardinals can easily take 2. Like the Seahawks could take 2. Like we're being generous and saying 1-1.
Those are the most unpredictable or division games because you know each other so well. But then this is also a year where the Seahawks team is completely revamped.
Yeah.
The Rams have a brand new weapon on their team. So, well, we'll see. But in interesting news, Pro Football Talk announced that in the beginning of March, 170 staff members of the New York Jets were offered buyouts. Aaron Rodgers criticized the culture of the Jets during his final season with the team, saying there were too many leaks and the building lacked a championship mentality. Do you think the buyouts are a direct result of Rodgers' comments?
Oh God! And Aaron Rodgers finishes the job.
Right?
It's the.
I'm taking everybody. I'm taking all the staff down with me, bitches.
That's the fucking kill shot right there.
Right?
Like he killed the. There was this book that I bought years ago. It was called "Kill the Company." It's how to get into a company's culture, infiltrate it from within, and then kill it. Use the company culture against it to have it rot and crumble from inside. And apparently, all it took was Aaron Rodgers getting there. So, what does this motherfucker know about championship anything? Like, he hasn't been there in a long, long time.
2008? When was the last time he fucking won?
Right.
2009?
Right. So,
That's a wild card team.
Right. And Mike McCarthy was the coach. So, like, come on now. So, what are we talking about here? Like, what... Okay, so too many leaks in the building. That's fine. Like, the relationship to the press and the way that the Jets were being covered and the casualness, the seeming casualness with which information was disseminated is an issue. But glass houses and stones, right? You went on the fucking Pat McAfee show and are talking all this shit. What leaks are... Motherfucker, you're on TV spouting shit. You're running your mouth off. You're on TV running your fucking mouth off. What are you talking about? If anything, you're as big of a problem as they were. And, Woody's pissed about that F. Right? He was trying to discredit that F. Yep. And he was, on record saying it's a bunch of bull. And just, funny how that came out. I'm more inclined to think that it's because he got the F in the players' poll, in the survey, that he,
wants to clean
he
house.
Wants to clean house and he wants to save face. And he wants to, show that he's like Joe Hardass all of a sudden instead of the fucking clown that he is. So it's an overreaction. I don't necessarily think it's due to Aaron Rodgers, although I do believe that Aaron Rodgers has worn out his welcome. Like, I mean, it's hard not to believe that Aaron Rodgers wore out his welcome in Florham Park, but I think it's more in line with the fact that they finally put Woody in his place as the shit owner that we know him to be.
Ooh, well, Z, I will say this. I mean, the buyouts that they're offering I think they're very generous. So with employees with 10 to 20 years of experience, the payments will be 3 weeks of pay for every year of service, along with health insurance for the same period, an amount equal to their 2024 bonus.
Nice.
Then for employees who have 20 years of experience and all employees VP titles are higher, they get 80 weeks of pay, health insurance, and the amount of their 2024 bonus. It's very generous for a Jet team, right?
Yeah.
Of that caliber to offer this. And, here's the problem, Z. It's like you've done everything, right? As an owner, I know everybody wants to take shits on Woody, but last year, he did what everybody asked him to do. Like, he went and got Aaron Rodgers 2 years ago. Then he went and got all the players Aaron Rodgers wanted. He did everything everyone asked him to do. And it didn't work. It's like, okay, I've changed coaches. I've changed players. I've changed quarterbacks. What else can I do? And you got to change the culture. You need new faces. You need new mentality. You need new ideas, new thoughts. You just got to change the vibe. It's terrible. I feel bad. I feel terrible about it. But I get it. Right? I mean, I remember when I was there, the guys who, the scouts who passed on Dan Marino were still there, man. Like, what are we doing, guys?
How the fuck they have a job?
You guys botched this. You guys are still here.
We still think he's got a coke problem.
So I mean, listen, it's you know, you never want to see somebody lose their job, and you never want to see someone go through rough times of unemployment. But at the same time, something's got to change. He ain't gonna change, right? He ain't selling the team.
No.
So if he's not gonna change, what else could I possibly do? I can change the grass on the field. I could change the colors on the walls. I can change players and coaches all day long. What's the only thing I haven't touched yet? I haven't touched this building in 35, 40 years. Right?
Yeah.
And that's it. Maybe you go younger. Maybe you go and you grab people from other teams, you know, that have had success. And from what I understood, there was a couple articles I read. He's taking a page of the Lions book. The Lions did something similar to this. I think this might even have been an Aaron Glenn idea, you know, because I'm sure he walked in the building and was like, "You guys are still here? How are you guys still here?" You know,
you were here when I played for the Jets.
What the fuck is going on here? You know, so yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot. You know, something's got to give. Something's got to give.
I've been saying, man, Woody is the constant. Woody is the constant. Now, Joe Douglas, Mike McCagnon, John Idzik, like all of these guys reported directly to Woody. And that becomes an issue in and of itself. You want to change the culture. Stepping away is probably the best way to go. Now, can you hire a person, right? Can you hire a VP of football operations who can run the day-to-day in your stead so that you don't have to be there? Right? Because I'm sure he would rather be on another one of those diplomatic excursions like he was a few years ago when Chris was running the show. Old Chris was running the show. They weren't any better. They weren't any better with a different Johnson there. So
and then you see Gino went and is working on getting an extension with the fucking Vegas Raiders.
Right.
You see Sam Darnold just got, he got his deal over in Seattle. These were guys that were on the Jets, man.
What
quarterbacks they had.
What they really need to really drive that home is if Zach motherfucking Wilson takes the Dolphins and then goes on a deep playoff run. That would really be the ultimate dagger.
Don't get it twisted. Zach Wilson will play quarterback for the Miami Dolphins against the New York Jets this season, and he will do well.
Oh, he'll win.
He will do well.
He will win.
And it's just it's tough. It's tough to look at. It's tough to watch. It's tough to understand. Football is unforgiving, man.
Yeah.
It's unforgiving, but you have a situation where something's got to change, and he ain't going to be one of those things that are going to change.
Avoid messy accidents. Get better stopping power with your brake pads. Callahan brake pads. You never know when you'll be driving in the road and there will be a truck tire that you need to avoid and save your family. Callahan Auto. We really care about what's under your hood.
So switching over to baseball. The New York Yankees tagged the Milwaukee Brewers over the weekend for over 16 home runs.
Christ almighty.
Nestor Cortez gave up 3 home runs on his first 3 pitches on Friday. Through closer examination, everyone noticed some of the Yankees were sporting new torpedo bat, which is narrow at the top of the bat and fatter in the sweet spot. Even though the bat is legal according to Major League Baseball rules, there are some baseball traditionalists that hate the torpedo bat. Where do you stand on this new phenomena?
So apparently these are designed by the physics expert that the Yankees have employed to re-engineer the bat so that they can get maximum barrel. And with maximum barrel, we can use we can use the force of the pitch to create maximum force in the other direction. As George Costanza once said, hitting is simple physics. And then he got laid again and he forgot all of that. So, good for you, George. Rumor has it, Nestor Cortez is on the highway walking back to Milwaukee. So he was not available for comment after the game. And after serving up batting practice like that, I wouldn't have been available either. So there's that. It's legal. Other teams are already making their purchases. They're already buying these torpedo bats.
Yep, Atlanta put in their order.
Yeah.
There's 2 other teams.
Bryce Harper individually. Bryce Harper personally has ordered his torpedo bats. Like, this is just the new thing, right? And how do you get around it? Bust them inside. The handle of the bat is thinner. Bust them in, break the bat. Pitch inside.
So now the question becomes, if you're going to allow hitters to have these torpedo bats, should you now allow pitchers to go back to doctoring the ball? Because
that's the thing, right? Because it's
creating. I mean, you're creating it. Listen, I understand that the bat's legal. I actually don't have a problem with the bat. It's fine, whatever. But is it creating an advantage for the hitters? Is a torpedo bat better than a regular bat? If it is, then what edge are you giving to the pitcher? You got to give the pitcher some kind of edge. I get what you're saying, bust them inside, break the bat. You could do that, and from what I understand, you also have to hit differently with a torpedo bat, right? It's I think it's supposed to go closer or in on your hands when you make contact. I know where the sweet spot is, but I'm just trying to say, like, it's more of trying to hit it more in on your hands anyway. The problem becomes
it makes the barrel bigger. Yeah, the sweet spot.
From what I understand, the down flaw of the bat is if you were to hit the ball on the end of the bat, it's not going anywhere. I think that's what I heard. I'm not even 100% positive.
Yeah, it's tapered,
and not a lot of play. And this has been around. The idea has been around, but no one's actually wanted to try it or toy with it. Understandably, like Judge. Judge says he's not interested. He's got his bat. I'm sure there's plenty of players that have it. Maybe Rafael Devers should think about getting a torpedo bat. But no, I mean, I'm a baseball traditionalist, but I don't really care. Use whatever bat you want. I mean, I don't know. So apparently the rule, you can't have a bat more than 42 inches long. I didn't know that. That was interesting to me. And, the rules are pretty lax as far as design elements are concerned. Just there has to be a certain how wide it is and things like that.
Right.
If you remember, because I heard Nelly De La Cruz.
Oh, Ellie De La Cruz, yeah.
Ellie De La Cruz played with it yesterday, and he fucking loved it. He crushed the ball.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably going to be. You remember the maple bat craze from like the mid aughts, like, because the whole thing was that maple is a harder wood and it's not going to break as easily like an ash bat will. So it's one of those things that you have to get adjusted to. Like, you have the axe handle bat, like, that's just a matter of preference. Like, this could end up being just a matter of preference. Now, how do you combat it? Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, giving the pitchers back their bullfrog and their spider tack, and I think it would level the playing field. But I think you also need to give it more time for the data to actually bear out. And the opening day series, I mean, the way Nestor Cortez was pitching, I don't know if they were, they could have been using, they could have been using anything. They could be using a wiffle ball bat, and they probably could have taken care of Nestor that day. So, and then they promptly got their asses handed to them by the Royals.
Yep.
So, I think it's just a little bit of an aberration. We need to see more data, and I think we need to kind of let it bear out a little bit. But if this is the technology that they're saying it is, I get the spider tack thing. It also might be time to move the fucking fences back. Can we just move the fences back? Can we make it harder to hit a home run? Home runs are not impressive. They've stopped being impressive, especially now that you've got dumbasses who are like tracking. Oh, that was a home run in 22 out of 30 ballparks. That was a home run in 1 out of 30 ballparks. And guess which ballpark it was? So, Anthony Volpe's home run. That was a home run in 1 out of 30 Shut up. Shut up. We get it. We know. We understand. You don't need to tell us this. Yankee Stadium is small. Take a drink.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, right, as far as pitching is concerned, keep the fucking ball down.
That's it.
Just keep the ball down.
Bust it in. Don't give up anything. You listen to me, Rick? Yeah.
Keep the ball down and you won't have a problem. I mean, I really, like I said, it doesn't bother me. I'm a traditionalist. It's fine. I mean, it does look weird. I will say it does.
It looks like
weird.
It looks like the Iron Sheik's Iranian clubs from when he used to like do the club demonstration in the ring. It's very weird. It is. It's very oddly shaped, but you can't argue with what you're seeing right now. Like, it's delivering the goods. But
yeah,
it's
but like you said, it just comes down to, like, you know, if he's got this bat, how am I gonna get him out? Like, what? And the other thing is like, I think I picked the Yankees to, you know, win the East. I think the Yankees are very good this year, despite not having Stanton. I like what they did with their pitching staff, and despite losing Cole, I think the Yankees are good. They played a shit Brewer team. Let's see how this trip in Arizona goes. Arizona's slightly better, and we'll see what it looks like. You know, it's not even been a week in the season. Let's see how things play out.
Yeah.
You know, how long can they keep this going, really? And, you know, if you're not, you're not going to go to the lengths of like banning the bat, and you're not going to do anything this season. So you're just going to have to let things play out and live with the results, Rob.
Well, what do you think about this one, though? The Yankees are crafting these bats specifically to the hitter, right? It's not a generic type thing. They're being engineered and designed for each specific hitter. Like, I find that interesting. Like, that part of it. Like, depending on what the goal is for each hitter, and that's how they're that's how they're shaping the bat. Like, that seems a little much. Like, we don't even know the true effect of these bats, and we're now tailoring them as if they're like a pair of pants. Like, it's just it's just fucking odd. Like, this whole thing just blew up, and I get it. Trevor McGill said it. He said it on Saturday. Like, yeah, it's the Yankees, so it's probably legal. No, not necessarily. Like, Major League Baseball said it was legal. Only the Yankees are the ones who are doing it. Like, that's not their fault. You know, deferred contracts are also legal, and only the Dodgers are doing that. So, you know, and this is the latest chapter of Don't Hate the Player, Hate the Game. So there you go. But how do you combat it? Learn how to fucking pitch.
Right.
There it is. That's the answer. The great equalizer.
That's what it comes down to.
Step outside of your safe area and make a statement without saying much with FCK Clout Lifestyle Apparel. Embrace the colorful chaos and stay emotionally regulated in their graphic tees, hoodies, snapbacks, accessories, and more. Go to fckclout.com today and check out current season and past season merchandise for men and women. Get it while you can. That's fckclout.com. Check them out today. fckclout.com.
All right, and we're still trying to touch them all, so rounding out our headlines, we'll move over to basketball. The Houston Rockets currently sit in second place in the West, and nobody's talking about them. See, in the East, we hear about the Cavs, we hear about the Celtics. In the West, we hear about the Lakers, the Mavericks, the Thunder, and Nuggets. Are the Rockets a threat to contend for the NBA title?
We've recently heard about the Grizzlies, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, who fired their coach.
So weird. I mean, they fired all of his assistants last year. So now we're kind of figuring that out. But I don't know. It is a credit to Ime Udoka, right? Like,
it is.
Who knew that if hands up if you forgot that Ime Udoka was the head coach down in Houston? Yeah, exactly. So there's that. But I mean, this
That would be a
team-
great storyline. It would be great to see Houston have to play the Celtics in the finals. That would be interesting.
Udoka and second row Joe. Well, he can't be second row Joe anymore. Ooh.
Second row Joe.
Interesting.
You'll always be second row Joe to me.
That's right, motherfucker.
Come correct me, come here.
Tell me how my ring tastes, bitch. Oh my god. But I mean, Dylan Brooks, Steven Adams, Jalen Green, Jeff, you have players on this team. Like Amen Thompson, Van Vliet. It's a solid core of players. It's a solid team. Nothing sexy, nothing flashy. Like, it's just a good, solid, well-built, dependable team. And, that's enough to get you through. Like, you can catch lightning in a bottle with that, especially in the NBA playoffs. It's such that, have the Thunder done so much that they're guaranteed to be in the finals? No. Did they make it last year? No. Right? Absolutely not.
Right.
Can you bank on the Nuggets? We saw the Nuggets go ice cold last year.
Yeah.
We've seen that too. The Lakers are interesting. They added Luka.
They just played the Lakers too, and they lost by 5.
Yeah. So you play them. They played tough. And could they hang? Yeah. Why not? I mean, the Mavericks are trending for all the wrong reasons, as we know. So
Currently in the 9 spot, so they're in the play-in.
They're in the play-in. As presently constituted, do you think they're going to make it out? I don't think they're going to make it out. No. And then, who else is, the Suns? Are we concerned about the Suns? I think we're concerned about the Suns for the wrong reason.
They're not going to be in the play-in. I'm watching them play right now. They're just awful.
Are
They're
we
just a bunch of guys playing basketball. There's no cohesion. They're not a team. They're just a bunch of guys playing basketball on a Tuesday night.
Yeah. And that's it. This is by design. This was by Kevin Durant's design, and this was by Matt Ishbia's design. That the Suns have become that shitty. Right? Bring me Bradley Beal. Why? Why would you want Bradley Beal? Because of his name recognition? Okay. Good for
Give
you.
me the rotting carcass of Bradley Beal.
God damn it. It's like, I once had his starting lineup figure. I want him. Yes. And then we have the Warriors. That's the other team we haven't talked about. So,
who are up and down.
Yeah.
I mean,
but the Rockets can hang with all of them. The Rockets can hang with absolutely all of them. And
really,
maybe they need that seasoning. Maybe they need the seasoning, right? They're getting it this year. The Pistons are getting that all of a sudden after years in the wilderness. The Pistons are suddenly decent. These teams are going to get a playoff seasoning. And then next year, right? Next year, they're going to be even more dangerous. So this year, they're a nice, plucky little story that could make a run. Next year, I think that's the year you better watch out.
yeah, so for me, I think they're a hidden gem. I think they're a team that you can bet on and feel good about it. Basically, an injury here, an injury there, they could take out a team. I mean,
Yeah.
The only thing I could see a path for them to get to the finals. What I can't see, at least not right now, is how they could beat a Celtics team or a Cavs team that's healthy. Because I can see them beating the Lakers. I can see them beating the Warriors. I can see them beating the Thunder in a 7-game series. I can see them beating the Grizzlies. I can see them beating the Timberwolves. The only team that might give them a tough time are the Nuggets.
Yeah.
And a healthy Thunder team. But if you're going to tell me the Thunder team doesn't have Chet or doesn't have SGA, that could go 6 or 7 games. The thing about the Rockets is they play defense and they play as a team. They don't have a star. They've got a bunch of players that play hard. They play 4 quarters. They pass the ball. They play defense. They rebound. They rebound, one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA. And so you catch a team on an off night, or you catch a team, sleeping on you, and we know they can coach. He can tell. He may be a dirtbag, but the guy can coach. The guy can certainly coach. So, and they've won 8 of their last 10, and their home record's almost like their away record, so they can go on the road and win. They're currently 14.5 back of the Thunder, and the Thunder aren't world beaters. I've seen the Thunder look like shit. I've seen all these teams in the West look like doo-doo.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for the Rockets. I would feel comfortable betting on them, bet responsibly. But I can see a path for them to, at the very minimum, get to the NBA Finals. Might be a tall order to take out a team from the East, but they could get there. Could they be that bad boy Piston? Could they be that Piston team that beat the Lakers? Could they do that? I don't know.
I don't think so. I really don't think so, because at the end of the day, who's their Rip Hamilton here?
Yeah, they don't have that kind of score.
They need a Rip Hamilton type, and they don't have that guy. Like, they have Dylan Brooks, who's a real fucking irritant. You have Steven Adams, who's a real fucking irritant. And you have a bunch of guys who play hard-nosed ball. But, yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. They can compete, right? They can play the Celtics hard. But at the end of the day, like, they have Tatum and Brown and you don't.
Yeah.
Like, they have, they can play the Cavs tough. But they have Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, and you don't.
Right.
So, like, I think they're a player away. It's a good story, great story. They absolutely will make a run and put a scare into some people. Dare I say? I mean, you can argue NBA Finals, like, I could definitely see that. Like, it's within the realm of possibility. Western Conference Finals. A showdown with the Thunder? Sure, why not? There's even a scenario where, they could host the Nuggets in the conference finals. Like, all those things could be possible. I wouldn't even discount the Warriors. They're up and down, but they're made for this shit, right? You have Steph, and you have Jimmy, and you have Draymond. Like, they're built for the playoffs. But are they still able to turn it on and flip that switch? I don't know. They're getting a little long in the tooth, but it's possible. It's intriguing, but they can go toe to toe with anybody and they can come out of that West. But you're 100% right in your assessment that the East is going to give them problems. The East is definitely going to give them problems. Whether it's the Cavs, whether it's the Celtics, I don't think anybody else. Like, if by some grace of God the Knicks make it to the finals, it'll be more even. It will be. Yeah, I think it would be a more even series than those other two matchups. But don't sleep on the Rockets, right? Absolutely don't sleep on the Rockets, because they've been building this thing for a while, and the stars are aligning. And hey, anything can happen in the NBA playoffs.
Is your hair thinning or is your hairline receding? Scalp micropigmentation will fill in the areas where your hair is missing by creating a short buzz cut look. Micropigmentation is a non-invasive procedure that will create the illusion of hair follicles for 7 to 10 years. For people with alopecia, this could be a permanent fix. For people with scars on their scalp, this is a great way to camouflage a scar. Don't lose confidence or feel like you need to wear a hat wherever you go. Marquez Studio is located in the Bronx and is open for all your scalp micropigmentation needs. Consultations are free and appointments can be made any day of the week. Get your hairline back with scalp micropigmentation. The techs at Marquez Studio have over 30 years of hair cutting experience and can assist you with all of your questions. Call to schedule a consultation today, 646-221-8728. You can also visit them on Instagram at Bronx Marquez to see their gallery and view all their satisfied customers. Again, that is Marquez Studio, located in the Bronx, New York, 646-221-8728.
Bullshit or no shit? We're going to debunk this week's most controversial topics right
All right, boys and girls, we have a statement. It's either bullshit or no shit. Bullshit or no shit. Number one, the Red Sox should be concerned with Rafael Devers' start to the season.
No shit, man. Was he got 16 strikeouts and like 20 at bats?
Brutal.
Something like that, right?
Brutal.
Clearly the third base thing with Bregman's bothered him. I mean, right? Clearly. But the other thing is he didn't take serious reps in spring training. I feel like he didn't take it seriously enough. But I think, I'm pretty sure it's like 16 strikeouts and like 20 at bats, something stupid like that. I mean, Tony Gwynn, like, that would take a whole season for that to happen. I don't know. Do you sit him down? People think being a DH is easy. It's not. It's a different flow to the game when you're just the DH, because you're not, going out in the field. You're not competing the whole time. And it just might not be working out for him. And then what do? You trade him? He has value. You can't bench him. He's got to play. And Boston has a good team. So, yeah, I'm going to say no shit. They got to be worried.
Oh, absolutely. It's no shit. Now, Cora has come out and said that he, despite the results, he likes what he's seeing from Devers in that he's not chasing. Oh, great. He's just getting beat instead. Like, that's great. That's a wonderful... Sure, great. The bat speed isn't there. He's getting blown by. Now, the other story, the other theory, is that he has lingering shoulder soreness, which also was shut down. Well, if the dude ain't right, which... it's possible. I mean, he's 6 foot 245, right? So he's a little bit bulkier at that frame. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was like some bulky pieces there. The adjustment to DH, it's not that easy. Like, what do you do with your time? Are you taking hacks in the cage? Are you watching video in between at bats? Are you looking at scouting reports? What are you doing to keep yourself mentally engaged in the game? Yeah. Because in the field, it's a different kind of animal because you have to be mentally engaged because at any moment that ball can be hit to you and you have to know the situation, what I'm going to do with it. And, that dictates what your mindset is. Here, you have nothing better to do than sit and stew and focus on what you're doing or not doing at the plate. But, in his case, not doing. But, 15 strikeouts. 15 in 19 at-bats.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
That's absurd. Absolutely absurd. Like, he has 4 walks So
Oh,
his
I thought he had an RBI.
he's got a ribby. He does have a ribby. He has 1 ribby, 4 walks, 15 strikeouts.
My man.
Oof. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. That is brutal. Absolutely brutal. But, maybe the way out of it is to kind of give him a blow and give him a breather. The other thing, maybe you need to put him in the field like 1 or 2 days a week. That also saves Bregman. So
I honestly think he should just play first.
I mean, you do have Casas there, but Casas is,
He
is what it is.
Sucks. Yeah, sucks.
Well, they still have high hopes on him. They have him, Campbell. They have a few players that they have high hopes for in Boston. So, maybe,
Trevor Story's playing second.
Yeah. How long is that going to fucking happen?
That guy.
Yeah. But who should probably talk to him? It would probably be worth a conversation if David Ortiz spoke to Rafael Devers. It's like, this is my mindset. This is what I did. Well, shit, dude. You were teammates with JD Martinez. Call JD Martinez. Pick his brain.
Yeah.
JD Martinez is nothing if not a pro hitter.
Pro hitter.
He's an absolute professional hitter. He can walk you through that mindset. Because JD Martinez can fucking rake. And you know what JD Martinez doesn't do? Play the field. So there's something to be learned from that, and maybe your answers are just a phone call away. But yeah, 15 and 19 is fucking brutal. Bullshit or no shit number 2. The Los Angeles Angels are the most embarrassing team in Major League Baseball.
I believe they had to bring in a fielder to pitch in their home opener. Is that true, Z?
Yes, opening day against the White Sox. Nicky Lopez. Nicky fucking Lopez.
Great start to the 2025 season. I'm going to go no shit. I think they are embarrassing. I think the A's are also embarrassing as they couldn't sell out a minor league field. They lost 18-3 to the Cubs. Their press have to sit in a shed. I don't believe there are bathrooms in the dugout.
Jesus.
And their broadcast crapped out during the game. Yeah, but yes, the Angels. You can't be bringing in I don't even think the Brewers did that. You can't bring in positional players on opening day at home. You just can't do that, man. You can't do that.
That's embarrassing, but you know what? We have to give the Angels credit where credit is due. They're 3-1. They lost on opening day in embarrassing fashion, but they're 3-1 on the season. So, for that reason, I'm going to say bullshit.
Oh, look how nice you are to them.
Hey, man. The 3-1 is 3-1. They have the same record as the Phillies, and both of us have them in the National League Championship game. So, we have them in the National League Championship Series. So, there's that. Not that the Phillies will continue on that trend, right? They're not going to be mentioned in the same breath as the Angels for long. The Phillies are going to ascend, and the Angels are eventually going to go back to their place. But for now, they share the same stratosphere. What's truly embarrassing? The Brewers. Dude, no.
Fuck, man.
The Brewers are the dirt fucking worst right now.
There's 50 feet of crap, and then there's us.
Yes, absolutely. Jake Bauers pitched in back-to-back games against the Yankees over the weekend. And then they got their doors blown off 11-1 against the fucking Royals. So, as long as the Milwaukee Brewers exist right now, nobody looks that bad, right? The Rockies are 1-3. The Braves are 0-5, but they're a tough 0-5, right?
You're just kissing up to me on that one. What do you mean they've only scored fucking 8 runs in 5 games?
I'm saying they're a tough 0-5 because of who they had to start the season against.
Yeah.
You had to start against the Padres, which, your bullpen blew opening day. That should have been a win. And then now they're playing against the Dodgers. The Dodgers
should just go back to Atlanta. Fuck it.
I mean, the Dodgers had a week's head start on everybody. So they're already further along the line than everybody else. And it's a mismatch anyway. It's a mismatch for every team right now. So that's what I mean when I'm saying it's a tough 0-5. Just because by the fluky nature of this schedule, the Braves drew the ultimate short straw. Two teams that we know are going to be in the playoffs. We know with certainty that both the Padres and the Dodgers are going to be in the playoffs. So that's why I kind of put them to the side. I'm looking at the Brewers. That's fucking abysmal. How about the Twins? Twins are 0-4. That's pretty damn bad. Both of those teams had aspirations, and both of them are in winnable divisions. Say what you will about the Reds, say what you will about the Cubs, say what you will about the Cardinals. The Brewers won that division last year. And they're not that far off from that roster. Right? And the Twins, that division is winnable. Right now, you have a three-way tie at the top. You got the White Sox, the Guardians. That's how you know it's fucking early, ladies and gentlemen. The White Sox are tied for first. So there you go. And the Tigers, again, another victim of the schedule. Oh, you're going to open the season against the Dodgers. You have promised. Let's squash that. Let's take care of that right now. So we're looking at this. The Brew Crew definitely take the cake. But any other year, the Angels would have been right up there. But kudos to Wash and kudos to the Angels for being afloat so far. The A's are just a shit show from, on the field, it's not bad. They got pieces, right? You got Mason Miller, you brought in Severino, you have Lawrence Butler, you have some talent there. It's the other stuff. It's the Fisher stuff that drives you crazy. And it's the Fisher stuff that's going to drive people away. And then once he gets to Vegas, what's he going to do? He's going to buy all these players? I don't know. But from an optic standpoint, the A's look much worse, even though the on-field product is still pretty decent. But there is one answer, and it is the Milwaukee Brewers this year. I think they just gave up another home run. Bullshit or no shit. Number 3, R.J. Lewis was smart to declare for the NBA draft.
It kind of sucks. I really like the guy. You know what? It's a different time in college basketball. He was Big East Player of the Year. The team is going to look different next year. What do you want him to do? So I'm going to say no shit. It was smart for him to do because you just don't know what next year is going to bring. He had a bad, game in the Big East tournament. Now, what happens if he comes back next year and then he has another bad game in the Big East tournament, or he doesn't average as many points, or the team is not as good? He's going to lose that national spotlight. He's got the national spotlight now. He was their best player. He had a bad game. And you're just going to see what happens. Somebody takes a chance on you. I don't think he's a first rounder. He's probably a second rounder. And somebody takes a chance on you, and it's payday. I don't know what St. John's was offering to pay him. And I don't know what other teams might be offering to pay him. But you've got to look for your payday. So, no shit.
I'm going to call bullshit. 18 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. The numbers don't jump out at you. I think, especially in this draft class, right? If you stay another year and if you go into the transfer portal and you find a spot, I don't know what school that would be, but find a spot that would pay you, right? Maybe build your draft stock a little bit more. Maybe you can actually exercise some demons from this past year. Fuck it, go to Arkansas. Really stick it to Skip. Okay, I'm going to go to Calipari. Fuck you. So, we want guys that have that dog in him. That would be the ultimate dog move. It's fuck you. I'm going to Arkansas. I'm going to play with Calipari.
You know, it's interesting because you're in a day and age now where, okay, he started out playing for Massachusetts.
Mhm.
He comes to St. John's. He played there the last 2 years. So now if he was to go to another school, it's like, where would his allegiance be? I mean, where would he, we see players today, they all rep their schools, right? They're all, you got Tom Brady for Michigan, even Jamal Mashburn for Kentucky. You have all these players that, kind of rep their school, but I think we're in a different era because now guys could play for 2 or 3 different schools in college, and then who are they repping? Where are their allegiances?
So who was that? JT Daniels played for 7 schools? Something like that? It's like Dr. JT Daniels. He was, that's ridiculous. But, I liken it to when Wade Boggs was inducted into the Hall of Fame and the then Tampa Bay Devil Rays paid him to go in as a Devil Ray. So I think...
Did they really?
Yeah. I think they banned
he
it
hit
after that.
He hit their first home run in their existence,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. So, that was the controversy behind it, that, you're going into the Hall of Fame. We're going to pay you. You're going in as a Tampa Bay Devil Ray. It's like, okay. That's nice. It's nice to know they didn't earn it. And, you know what? They still really haven't earned a Hall of Famer anyway. That's neither here nor there. I think the allegiance is where the money is. Whoever pays him the most, that's who he's going to go rep. Whether it's UMass, whether it's St. John's, whether it's wherever the hell he ends up next. It's whichever way the wind blows and whichever check is biggest. But I think he's not brawny bad, right? He's not 4 points. He's not a triple single. There is something here that somebody could decide to take him as a project and a prospect and kind of stash him in the G League and let him develop. He'll be playing against better competition in theory. But one more year couldn't hurt. And he could fill out his body a little bit more. 6'7", 215. Not bad, but you could put a little bit more size on if you're going to be taking on the big boys in the NBA. So, I get it. It was a sour finish. It's not what everybody wanted. But, it's his want. It's his prerogative if he wants to give it a try. But you can only... I think you won't hurt your draft stock necessarily. I can only see in a way that will benefit you. But if that's the route you want to go, RJ, you do you, boo-boo.
Your favorite podcast has its own merch line now. Go to the Fade Store with DNZ.com today and check out our releases in apparel, accessories, drinkware, and more. Ever wanted an Alleged Superstar t-shirt? We got those. You want some yoga pants? We got those too. And we're not done yet. We have a lot of exciting collaborations and new products on the way. But check out what we have now at the Fade Store with DNZ.com. That's the Fade Store with DNZ.com. Who's the best of the worst this week in sports? The Fade Store presents the Alleged Superstar of the Week Award.
Alright, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It's time for the Alleged Superstar of the Week. You know how it goes. We put up a poll on our X account and our Instagram poll. So, at FadeRouteDNZ, at FadeRoute Podcast, and now you can vote on our Spotify page. And you vote, and you vote, and you vote. And the winner of said vote gets a shout out on this here show and takes home the coveted ass trophy. And do you know who took home the coveted ass trophy last week, D?
I don't.
The U.S. men's national team. Yeah, that was a shit performance by an overrated team, and 2026 is going to be painful if that is how we're going to perform. But that was last week. This is this week. Who are your nominees for Alleged Superstar of the Week, D?
All right, so first up, I've got the outfielder or former outfielder of the Atlanta Braves, Jerickson Profar. Only made $1 million last year for the Padres. Had a great season. Bring him over to the Braves. Give him $40 million, and this asshole tests positive for a banned substance. Gets banned for 80 games, and oh yeah, he's not eligible for postseason play. Thanks for playing, Jerickson Profar. You are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. Number 2, I'm going with the Atlanta Braves. 0-5 to start the season. Got crushed by the Padres in 4 games. And then got slapped up by the Dodgers last night, 6-1. Didn't score until the 8th inning. Thanks, Michael Harris, for making it look a little better. They have scored 8 runs in 5 games. Atlanta Braves, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. And number 3, I've got the Sacramento A's. Getting blown out in their home opener in Sacramento, where they failed to sell it out, even though it only seats 14,000 people. They only sell 12,000 seats. They got blown out 18-3. The media has to sit in a shed for press conferences.
Sit in the fucking shed.
The broadcast cut out after a couple of minutes. It did not return. And there's no bathroom in the dugout. Bathrooms are in another area. Sacramento A's, you are my Alleged Superstars of the Week. What do you got, Z?
How does the AAA team actually play there if this is all the issues? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, think about it, the Sacramento.
All you had to do was attract 2,000 more AAA fans, right? Because the AAA team's there, so you figure they get a couple of thousand. You only need a couple of thousand people to make it interesting, and you couldn't get that.
Well, think about what the Rays have to do, right? They're using Steinbrenner Field, so just appeal to Yankee fans. And you can sell out. Now, with that, right? That's all you have to do is you have to get 2,000 more people in. And you couldn't do that. So, this experiment is not going to end well. And to make matters worse, everybody wore 24 in honor of Ricky Henderson. So, you kind of sullied Ricky Henderson with this too. Indirectly. It's like, shit. Thanks for showing up, guys. Ugh. Absolute dog shit performance there. But, dog shit performance. Let's start with Rafael Devers, the strikeout king. 15 strikeouts in 19 at-bats. He does have 4 walks, which is nice. But, 15 whiffs. Say what you will. But he is not adjusting to being a DH very well. And we're putting it mildly. Rafael Devers, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. Number 2, the Milwaukee Brewers. This is just Saturday's box score. 20 runs, 9 homers. Like, what? How in the hell did you allow 20 runs and 9 homers? Here's how. The first 3 pitches of the game ended up in the seats. There's a start. Nestor Cortez gave up 5 of those jacks. Absolutely abysmal performance. And then on Sunday, they got it again. They got their asses handed to them again. And then Monday, they got their asses handed to them again. This time by the Royals. Absolutely atrocious. Absolute laughingstock. Jake Bauers had to come in and pitch twice over the weekend. In consecutive days, you had to have a first baseman come in to relief. That's all you need to know about the Milwaukee Brewers so far. Milwaukee Brewers, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. And number 3, the Cleveland Browns Owner Jimmy Haslam is on record now saying that the Deshaun Watson trade was a big swing and a miss. Well, no shit, Sherlock. How many allegations did Deshaun Watson have under his belt, no pun intended, when you decided to, go for the Texans' mercurial quarterback, the controversial Deshaun Watson? You kind of knew about that from the get-go. And then you paid him guaranteed money. But, big swing and a miss. Big swing and a miss. Meanwhile, there were safer options out there. Could have even stuck with Baker Mayfield if you were so inclined. Oh, look at how good Baker Mayfield's doing now. Oops. Cleveland Browns, you are my alleged superstar of the week. I think we said our piece. Go to our X account at FadeRouteDNZ. Go to our Instagram poll at FadeRoute Podcast. Go to our Spotify page and vote. And vote. And for our nominees.
You're better than that. Just do better. Just do better. You're better than that. Just do better. Just do better. Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review, rate us 5 stars, turn on subscription notifications, and share on social media. Tell your friends and spread the word.